Hi and welcome to lesson 2 on how to produce a classic 90s style deep house record. In the first lesson we focused on the beats, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add the bass line and a few synths and start getting the track moving. Okay, so where we are is we've just got the beats and so forth. Okay, so what we're going to do next is head over to instruments and take a simpler and put that down there, and back over to our samples and look for organ bass, which is there. Okay, now head over to your keyboard. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to record in the main riff, which is the bass line riff if you like. I'm just going to record it in now. It's basically simple notes, and that is D, A, B, C. And you will see on the screen in a minute exactly what notes they are. Okay, so I'm going to hit record and away we go. And there we go. Double click on it. Should look like that. And we're missing one there, so I don't know what's happened, but still there. So select all, quantize, and that needs to go down to the A, so it's like this. Okay, so if you copy that pattern, so we've got the bass line. I'll change the colour of that. Now then, what we're going to do next is we're kind of going to cheat a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the organ track. So you right click on there and just select duplicate. And then in there, just change the colour of that and just rename it synth. Okay, same goes for the title page, synth. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open up the simpler on the synth one we've just created, and we're going to replace the organ bass with deep synth stab. And then what we do is we select that and we go to audio effects, double click on ping pong delay, turn it down to about 30, and same again for that. And then we're going to have the riff playing in exactly the same notes with this sound. Okay, so the track's really starting to take shape very, very quickly. Okay, what we're going to do next then, before we actually go into adding all the vocals and stuff, is we're going to use the bus channel. So if you look at your session view, you'll see over here you've got A and B. Now basically, these are your bus return channels, send and return. And on there is already, in Ableton 9, there's already a built-in reverb, which is this one here. And what you can do is, any single sound on here, if you're not familiar with this, is turn up the sends on each individual channel and it will add the reverb which is connected to this over here. See, so if you were to play that synth, and so forth. And basically what it does is it saves on CPU and it helps in the mix down process immensely, so that there's not too many of the same reverb going through one thing. Okay, so as I said already, I've added a bit of reverb on some of the stuff in here. We had one on drum rack, which was the percussion. I had one on the Et vocal. The Crash didn't have one, but was going to put one on. So what we're going to do before we go any further is we're going to start adding that. So what we're going to do then, we're going to go to the A delay, which is this one, this medium concert. But we're going to go to our reverbs over here, and we're going to replace it with a concert hall. And we're not going to touch it, we're just going to leave it as it is. We're going to leave it 100%. And then we'll go over to our Crash, solo the Crash, and turn the A up to about there. And mute the Crash again, because we're not using that at the moment. And then we'll go over to the drum rack, which was the percussion, the congos, solo those, turn the A up on those again. That's dry. Okay, so they're now connected. And then the vocal, turn that up. You can hear it coming through. Okay, and the same with the synth. You could even put a little bit of delay on the synth, which we've already got one on anyway, the ping pong, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, and then the organ bass, probably put a slight reverb up on that. So basically, as I say, that just saves on CPU and it just saves everything getting cluttered. So before we go any further, I'd just like to get that in there. If you're using Ableton 8, this channel is usually blank. So you would just go and grab the reverb of the concert hall and you would drag it in manually. And then you would just do the same process with your send channels on your desk. Okay, so the next thing we're going to add then is we're going to go back to our samples and we're going to find the sax riff, and we'll drag that over and rename it, and then we'll go to our returns again and send, and we'll turn that up and we'll put a little bit of delay on it. And there you go. So mute the synth. Okay, so that's the sax riff. Okay, the next thing then, insert audio and find the deep music box. Now this will need turning up slightly, but also double click on it and open it up, and we're going to have to straighten this out because of the watermarkers not in the right place. Well, they're not on my computer anyway. If they fall into place on your computer, then well done, but probably not. So let's just solo that with a kick.
Inside of me.
If you can hear it, it's just slightly out of time.
Inside of me.
So we'll double click and we drag this one to there and that to there.
Inside of me. Inside of me.
Pull that in.
Inside of me. Music.
And then we'll drag that one over there, that there, and that there. Probably drag that a bit further.
Inside of me. Music. 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 Inside of me.
Okay, so rename that Deep Vox. Head over to your mixing desk again, and the same with this. Turn the reverb up.
Inside of me. Music. Inside of me. Music.
Just turn it up to however you want it really, if you want a little bit of delay on there, or if not, I've got both.
Inside of me. Music.
Okay, so that's that done. Next, what we want to do is add another audio channel and put in the boom rev effects, which is this thing here. Just change the colour of that. Double click and turn it down slightly, and this is for the breakdown later. It's not going to be used throughout the track as such, so we'll just use that for the breakdown later on. So let's just mute that. Okay.
Inside of me. Music. Inside of me.
Okay, starting to really come together now. And next we want to do is add the female vox and double click on it and unwarp it. And this basically is a very famous vocal sample, you'll know it straight away. Oh! And the same goes for that yet again. As you can see, we're using the delay sends and the reverb sends. Oh! turn up the delay a little bit more on this one. Like that. So this is for later on as well. When we do the breakdown, it's not going to feature in the main section of the tracks. So mute that as well. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a instrument and a simpler. Put the simpler in there, go back to your samples and look for church feeling. Okay. Now this sound here is like a wicked church organ sort of thing. And this is going to be used also for the breakdown. So we're not going to feature this in the main body of the track, but you could use this for other productions because it's got a good little stabby sound, like lower down. So, but for now, what you might have to do is zoom in on it and just bring the arrow in slightly so that it's just got there like that. So that the attack is more quicker. So again, we're not going to use that just yet. That's going to be for the breakdown. Just wanted to get it in so that everything is now in place for the arrangement. So let's just recap. We've got that in, that. Every sound is in now. We're all in there. We've bussed everything so that the mix down doesn't get all cluttered, which is a great thing to do. Let's just have a check. Okay, everything is there and in place and ready to go. So thank you very much for watching. Any questions, just give me an email and I will contact you within 24 hours. Head over to lesson 3 where we're going to start the arrangement. Thank you, goodbye.